going on, everybody? It's Paul here at Butt Crack Cycles. I'm doing kind of a different format of video for y'all today. I bought another bike. It's right here over my shoulder. You can see it right there. It's a 74 Ironhead Sportster, and my trailer is just covered in parts. I've got a whole bunch of parts with this bike too. There's a whole nother frame over there on the other side of the trailer, probably out of frame of the camera. Concrete pads right behind me where the new shop's going. And since my little shed that I've been working on bikes out of for the last roughly 2-ish years, more like 3 years now really, is basically chock full, I'm not actually gonna get too much work done on this bike right now. So instead of doing a video of, hey, I just bought this bike, but you're gonna have to wait, 3 months to see me fix this thing up, I thought I'd do a video kind of like a day in the life of a Harley picker. Motorcycles, vintage Harleys are like slowly and steadily becoming my full-time job. This started as a side gig for me a couple years ago, and it's just built steam and built steam. I'm at the point now where I'm making more money working on bikes, doing bike social media content, selling parts, buying and selling parts, and buying and selling bikes themselves than I am anything else. I'm hoping that like this time next year, I'm not even having to turn wrenches on big diesel stuff anymore, that I'm just doing the old Harleys. So I thought this might be fun, take y'all kind of like, on a day in the life of Paul as a vintage Harley picker. And yeah, you can see, kind of what I do every day. I will say I haven't done it yet, but I am going to make a pretty strong effort to try and at least get this bike to burp off and run, or spend a little bit of time deciding, is it actually worth trying to get it to run, because I think it is. Story goes on this bike, this is the product of a divorce, and so I really have none of the history of this. I know nothing about it. Obviously someone was working on it, but I don't think they knew what they were doing, and I think I can probably get this thing going or pretty close to it. So after we get through all the pickering, stick around. The end of the video will be me tinkering and trying to get a bike to run. So if y'all enjoy this one, let me know if you like this format and if you want some more stuff like this. Thanks for watching. Like I mentioned earlier, this is the product of a divorce, and this is a deal that I came to sort of by word of mouth. This was someone that I know, someone that they know. So I went over to where this bike was stored at. I had already paid for this thing a few days in advance, and they weren't home, but basically said, hey, the little shed's unlocked. You're welcome to just get all the parts and get the bike and shut it behind yourself. So I started getting all the parts. I started loading parts into the truck. That's where I started. Then I went to the engine that was still in that 73 frame. I couldn't pick this all up together by myself. It's not that I can't carry that much weight. It's just kind of awkward, especially when you're trying to throw it into the bed of a fairly tall pickup truck. So I went ahead and just unbolted the engine from the frame and yanked the engine out and carried that over my truck and threw that in the back of the truck. So that didn't really take me too long, but it is nice to have a fully stocked service truck for moments like these when you do need to do a little wrenching before you can haul your parts home. So into the bed of the truck that it went, and then I found my lunch for the day on the floor next to the Sportster. Yum, protein. After that, I wheeled the bike out of the shed. This is the first time I'd seen this thing out in the daylight. It really didn't look too bad. I took a few minutes to just kind of take some pictures of it and check it out. And yeah, I was pretty pleased with this, especially for no more than I gave for it. And then I tried to push this thing up into my trailer. I have a tilt deck trailer, which usually works pretty good, but you have to get the weight of the bike all the way at the front to make it come back down on its own. And the angle that I was at today, I just could not push the bike all the way to the front. So I ended up letting the deck of the trailer back down flat, pushing the bike back into the building, turning it around, and then backing the trailer up so that I had the trailer in the building, and then tilting the deck back down, and that got the angle of the trailer deck a lot less steep. Instead of trying to push the bike basically up like a 45-degree angle, I was pushing it up only a few degrees. Much easier, one go this time, straight up into the wheel chock, and then just kind of hold it there and get the kickstand down and try and hold all the way to the bike to the front. No brakes on this thing at all right now. So no way to really hold it. And then you can see I'll weasel around the bike to the front and bam, get the deck of the trailer to go back flat. Like I said, the weight has to be all the way at the front on this trailer to get it to swing back shut. It's sometimes kind of a pain by yourself. So once I got everything home, I backed it all up to the shop, pushed the bike off the trailer, and then Kenneth was my little helper as always. He has a pretty good time helping his dad with motorcycle stuff, and I always love having him involved with projects. And he's really pretty useful, honestly. He listens really well, and he's just, you know, happy to be there and always learning stuff. And there's so much of this that's often just a family effort. Y'all see that on this channel. So Kenneth and I spent some time getting everything unloaded, putting it into the trailer, and just kind of trying to get it semi-organized to a point that we could sort through it, which is what you're going to see next. So we're back home with it. The bike's back behind me. I threw a seat and a tank on it just to kind of mock the thing up, turn the camera around. And I figured we'd just do like kind of, you know, a walk around and show basically everything that I got. Obviously this is the bike. This really is a pretty decent looking bike from this angle. My plan for this is a numbers matching bike. So engine matches the frame neck, and we have a clean title for it, signed and everything, and the numbers match up between all of that. We'll get into this a little bit later in this episode as far as, you know, what this bike needs. I am going to spend some time on this episode trying to get this thing maybe to run. I think someone was working on this. This tank, I believe, has some crap in it. It looks kind of gross, and you kind of hear it when you shake it around. So maybe we'll feed the carburetor out of a bottle. The battery is only from March of 2023, so might be able to actually revive the battery on this thing. We'll go through that a little bit later, but for now, let's check out the parts haul. There's the frame, like I said earlier, that's off of a 73. There is the engine. The engine does turn over, so it's got that going for it. See if I can do this one-handed. It's kind of hard on a V-twin, but it does turn over, so that's nice. And then we've got what looks like more than one engine's worth of parts in boxes. So there's a cylinder head with some rockers, there's a jug, there's another rocker box, there's another head, there's another rocker box in there, there's another jug. So I don't know exactly what's going on here. There's primary cover, there's a cam chest cover, there's a whole bunch of parts. So I need to sort through all of this crusty, dusty saddlebags. Kenny sitting on the truck. Kenneth just finished his daily chore right now, which is taking the leaf blower and blowing all the oak leaves and acorns off the concrete pad so it doesn't get stained while we wait for it to cure before the building can go up. But yeah, this is kind of it. We're gonna leave it like this, throw a tarp over it for the evening. I'm gonna go inside and make some dinner because it's starting to get kind of late. Tiffany's still at work. You really like spinning that engine over, don't you, Kenny? Yeah. So the rods have to go kind of down together, and then it'll swing back around towards me. Here. And now it'll want to kind of come back up together like that. Okay. I had my leg on the clutch, so that probably wasn't helping. See if you can do it. Fun. Hours of entertainment for a little boy, just as it should be. So we're gonna cut the camera off, and I'll probably come back out here in a day or so and sort through these parts and show y'all exactly what we've got. Okay, so I've spent like 30 minutes or so organizing stuff, and I've got it broken down into some sort of smaller piles. So we'll turn the camera around and show y'all what I've come up with. So basically, everything on the trailer is going to get sold. So let's take a look at what that is. It's that 73 engine. There's one jug, there's the other cylinder, head, rocker box, other head, rocker box, primary cover. I don't know how I'm going to do this yet. Part of me thinks to just part it out, try and sell this piecemeal since it's already a part. Part of me thinks maybe organize it all into one listing. This will pretty much all be a Facebook listing. This stuff is a little too big and a little too heavy to try and ship, though I guess I probably could ship rocker boxes and cylinder heads. Those wouldn't be too terribly expensive, especially if you charged for the shipping. Other things like, you know, this 1000cc air cleaner, somebody will want that. I'll be able to sell that individually. I can probably sell that oil tank. There's this random mystery Mikuni carburetor. I don't quite know what this actually is. It's some kind of a round slide carb. It's really small though. It almost looks like maybe it goes on a four-wheeler or some kind of small engine, snowmobile. I don't really know. There's a lunchbox oil tank. This is kind of tempting to keep just because I like the lunchbox bikes so much, but that'll get sold. That's something I can sell individually. Other things like, you know, the saddlebags I think will be an easy sale by themselves. And then everything that's left, I will probably... The small, super easy to ship stuff like floorboard mats, I'll list that online. I wouldn't mind shipping those. But then the bigger stuff that I don't want to ship, I'll just put it all together in one Facebook Marketplace listing and put a price on it and just say, you know, old Harley parts, come get it. The frame, undecided on that. I might take the front end off of the frame and try and sell that separately really cheap. And then I might just use the frame as yard decoration. Obviously, you know, concrete pads over there where the new shop's going. So I might take this and hang it up in the shop or out in front of the shop. Then we've got some boxes that we'll put stuff into later. Any nut and bolt that I found has gone in that small one. Any tool that I found has gone into that one. Got some random other stuff too. We've got this funky trailer hitch, maybe for a lawnmower. Old school grease gun. Seems like it kind of works. Can of spray paint. This actually looks... This might actually be good. Wonder if it is. A trailer could use some paint. Oh yeah, cool. So, pay kind of $3 to repaint the trailer maybe? Yeah. And then we got a box of parts, some mostly just junk. Voltage regulator off of Volkswagen Beetle. Very familiar with those. And then we'll come over here to my little cart. And this is everything that basically right now I want to keep. And you can see it's not really that much. I'm pretty selective with what I keep. And some of this may end up into sale stuff too. So there's 1, 2, 3 carbs on here. I hate to get rid of a carb. I'm kind of selfish about carburetors. There's a Delorto round slide. It's a, what's this, a PHM 38? Yeah, PHM 38 with an intake manifold. Some brakes. Kicker lever. There's a crossover shifter for like 75, 76. Basically a whole set of P-cams that look like brand new. That looks like a brand new set of P-cams. It's missing one, but it's over there. The number 2 cam is over there in the cam chest, so I'll pull that out. There's also looks like a brand new set of what's it called for your points. The cam advance, the advanced unit is in there. Couple of dial indicators. This one is a Federal. Can't really read it, but I can never say this. Mitutoyo. These are pretty nice ones. This one does move. I don't know. I'll check it against some other ones to see if I can get that working. Oil seals, shift linkage parts, etc. Another carburetor. This is a AMF Harley K-Hen Butterfly. This is actually one of my favorite carbs on a Harley. People hate these things for some odd reason. I really like them. I have one on my Ironhead. This is usually a pretty reliable carb and runs pretty good, so I'm going to hang on to that. And then last carburetor is a Bendix Zenith. So this is like what would have been on, see, it says Zenith. Maybe zoom it in a little. Zenith right there. I don't know if it comes through on camera. Anyways, this is like what would have been on, you know, a late 60s to really early 70s shovel head, and same thing with an Ironhead. I think this would have been like a 60, I don't know, 65 to 70 maybe shovel carb. Again, that might get sold too. So intake manifold, little small things that I can use on upcoming projects. But yeah, that's kind of like the logic of me sorting through all these parts after I've brought it all home. And the idea is that I have very, very, very little money in all of this. Like, I'm not going to tell you how much I have, but it's shockingly little. And so my hope is that I can be able to sell parts in the meantime and be instantly recouping some of that money that I've spent on buying all of this, and then get on the bike itself to have a bike ready to flip in the spring. It's kind of the third week of October right now as I'm filming this. Now's not the time to sell a motorcycle. The best time to sell a bike is in the spring. So I'll sit on this through the winter, have it fixed, have it ready to go come springtime, generate some money selling parts, generate some money with YouTube revenue about the videos I make fixing this bike, and then hopefully by the time I sell this thing in the spring, all of the parts that I will have sold and the YouTube revenue should have put the money back in my pocket that I've spent on this project, and all of the money from selling this thing will basically at that point just be, you know, pure profit, which is awesome. Also, one more thing while we're kind of just sitting here discussing what I'm going to do with everything. I actually didn't even realize it until I got this bike home. It was so dark in the little shed where this was stored. This has a set of the Lester 7-spoke mag wheels on it. I didn't even realize it until somebody left me a comment. They're like, rare wheels. And I went and looked on my phone at one of the pics I had of this thing. And I was like, oh crap, it does have 7 spokes on it. I had just completely paid this thing no attention. There you go, you can see Lester. These are actually kind of cool looking on this bike, but I don't think that they're going to add any value to this motorcycle when I sell it. So probably what I'm going to do is, since I got a set of spoke wheels with this bike when I bought it, is I'm probably going to throw the spoke wheels on this thing and let it go down the road with the spoke wheels, and then the Lester wheels, the 7-spoke mag wheels, will be something that I just part out as I'm selling parts off of this thing. Alright y'all, so it is 4 days since the last clip that y'all watched in this episode, and basically here's where we're at. The bike is still parked where it was, kind of right there over my shoulders, but it runs now. I spent a little bit of time today getting this thing to run. I'll throw a clip up here kind of after I'm done talking, and that's how we'll end the video, is with y'all watching this bike run. So we've got a running bike, which is great for the flip on the back end in the spring when I sell this. And let me flip the camera around. Check out the trailer. Yeah, it's almost empty. I have been selling parts left and right. Engine's gone, primary stuff is gone, oil tank's gone, that pile of parts is gone, frame in that front end is still here, air cleaner still here, that's on the web store, buttcrackcycles.com. I've sold stuff in person, I've sold some stuff online, I've sold some stuff through Instagram, and yeah, that's kind of like the reality of doing this full-time for a living, is that you need to try and make a little bit of money in a lot of bit of places. And so, you know, I'll put stuff up in multiple places so multiple people can get eyeballs on it, and that's just how you got to sell stuff. Basically where I'm at on this now, money-wise, is I've already turned a profit. I've made back, just in the part sales, everything that I paid for the bike and all the parts, and then I'm roughly $150 to the good right now, and then that will give me a little bit more wiggle room on that bike later as far as fixing it up and selling it, though I'm not going to put too much terrible amount of money into that bike. Basically it'll get sold as like a riding project. So that's really it. Thank you all for watching. Thanks for coming with me, like day in the life of Paul, hunting for Harleys, picking Harleys, flipping Harleys, buying and selling Harley parts. It's pretty cool that something that I really love and enjoy doing and I'm passionate about pays the bills. Like, yeah. So thanks for everybody for watching. I appreciate all of y'all. I'll see you on the next episode. Enjoy a little bit of Ironhead running content. Bye.